Organized team activities are in full swing at the Star in Frisco, and some key pieces for the Dallas Cowboys have stood out in the limited media availability that these practices have had. So, let's talk about them. Nick Harris of DallasCowboys.com wrote, Trey Lance continued to take valuable reps on Thursday as the team has installed some packages for the former number 3 overall pick to use his legs and athleticism outside of the pocket more naturally than they would for Dak Prescott or Cooper Rush. And honestly, from an offensive perspective, this makes sense, especially going into the preseason where you want to see everything that Trey Lance has to offer for the offense. If you've watched Trey Lance, anything college highlights, NFL highlights, the dude can move outside of the pocket. He can make plays on the run, doing read option stuff, RPO. He's more athletic than Dak Prescott is at this point in his career, and surely more athletic than Cooper Rush. So it's good to see the Cowboys making an effort for Lance to succeed, mostly in the preseason, using his athleticism. While I don't think they're going to really put him in danger and ask him to carry the ball 8 to 10 times in the preseason, we might see some designed runs, some read option stuff to get him out in space, get him comfortable, and in the flow of the offense. But this isn't the first time that we've heard good things about Lance and his OTA practices. Mike Fisher reported that Lance's footwork has improved, his arm looked live, he looked like he was taking every single rep seriously. Mike McCarthy himself has continued to praise Lance as well, saying that he is nearly a master of the offense and that he just needs to take more reps. And as we're gonna come to find out, especially people that haven't watched a ton of Trey Lance, he's a very raw player. I don't think he even has 400 career passes. That's including college and the NFL. I think he's only thrown 102 passes in his entire NFL career. We're going into year 4, but it seems like the Cowboys are more than ready to get Lance every single opportunity they can in training camp and the preseason, and that starts at OTAs and working with things that he does best. I'm really looking forward to seeing Lance in a Mike McCarthy system. People love to hate on Mike McCarthy. He had his issues as a play caller, but we saw what he did with Dak, a near MVP season. The timing, the footwork, the precision. Hopefully those things translate into Trey Lance's game. A rawer player, is that a word? A more raw player than Dak Prescott, obviously. Overall, I think that Lance has stood out throughout these practices, and hopefully that continues into the preseason and training camp. We've gotten reports from practice that Deuce Vaughn is getting work all over the place, and that starts in the slot. During the media availability at OTAs on Thursday, Deuce was seen taking reps out of the slot. Deuce said that he's been studying former Cowboys wide receiver Cole Beasley since he found out that he'd be getting work out of the slot. I was talking to a friend about this earlier today, and I told him Deuce is going to have to find a role in this offense. He cannot be a gadget guy. You already have one of those in Kevontae Turpin, and we know that Deuce isn't going to be running back 1 or even 2 for this offense, especially since you brought back in Ezekiel Elliott. I just don't think it's possible to have 2 guys in an offense, especially on your 53-man roster, that are both manufactured touch guys. Guys that you have to plan to get the ball. We haven't seen the Cowboys use Turpin as a traditional receiver, and maybe that'll change this upcoming season with the departure of Michael Gallup. So Deuce getting work at wide receiver certainly makes his role more interesting as we get closer and closer to training camp. I'm excited to see how the Cowboys are planning to do this. Are we moving Deuce to the slot full time if he looks really good there? How does this affect the wide receiver numbers on the roster? How does it affect the running back numbers in such a crowded room? There are a lot of intrigue and questions around this, and it might just be something that the Cowboys wanted to try out at OTAs and they move on from it. We don't see it a whole lot in training camp, but I'm actually excited about this report. Hopefully we do get to see Deuce get some action as a receiver and maybe carrying the ball out of the backfield as well. CeeDee Lamb continues to hold out of Cowboys OTAs as he awaits a new contract, and for that, he's a standout. There's been a ton of news surrounding his new deal, and as more and more wide receivers continue to get paid, the price tag for CeeDee Lamb continues to stand out a whole lot. A.J. Brown got a massive deal. Jalen Waddle, someone that many of us wouldn't really consider a top 5 wide receiver, got top 5 money. The longer and longer this stretches out, the more and more money Lamb is going to make. The Cowboys came out and said that Lamb is priority number 1 when it comes to the contract of him, Parsons, and Prescott. So we'll just have to wait until the news comes down that the Cowboys finally paid CeeDee Lamb. There's no way they don't, even if they don't want to give him top of the market money. And with that, let's get back to a few more guys that have stood out on the field at practice. Marshawn Kneeland reportedly won some reps against the first-team offensive line in the media sessions. Coming into the league as a rookie, Marshawn Kneeland already has incredible strength and power. His heavy hands were all over his college film. And for Kneeland, coming from a smaller school, which doesn't always matter, it's just good to hear that he is looking good, winning against the first-team offensive line. If Kneeland can put together a nice camp and preseason, he could easily find his way into this rotation in the defensive end room, because he's a player that Mike Zimmer loves to put on the field. So Marshawn Kneeland got a shout out and stood out at OTAs. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, you want more of these videos, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.